Hello, this is Jen, and I'm here for the full moon in Scorpio. So, this is our first full moon since the two eclipses. We had the lunar eclipse and then the big total solar eclipse 2 weeks ago. So, now we're heading into full moon in Scorpio. That's going to be on Tuesday, April 23rd, which is interesting because it's right smack in the middle of Earth Day, which is Monday, the 22nd, and Mercury goes direct, yay, on April 24th. This has been a powerful Mercury retrograde where I've been fumbling, having kind of email wars with my computer and sending out the wrong links. So it's been interesting, very humbling. Um, I I remember somebody talking about when spiritual people use Mercury retrograde to blame the planets for what they're not doing or they're messing up. And it's not about that. Mercury retrograde actually is a very spiritual time for us to kind of rewind, reflect, kind of take it easier. And it lasts about 3 weeks, give or take. And it happens 3 to 4 times a year. So, yeah, we're meant to kind of step back a bit and not push forward too much. I see it like a slingshot, right? We pull back and then we kind of build up more energy. So when we're ready to move forward, we go forward. So this is a great time where we're kind of being tapped on the shoulder, like time to go forward, right? So we're in the season of Taurus, right? The sun is in Taurus, and that's an Earth sign. So Earth Day, right? Kind of celebrating Taurus season. I love that. And what else? It also is in opposition to Scorpio. Scorpio is water. It's an intense water. It's ruled by the planet Pluto. So it's very intense. It's very powerful. It can get very dark and very deep. Like the shorthand of it is Scorpio is the sign of sex, death, and taxes. So it's all the things we don't, always want to talk about or face too much or look into deeply. But here it is. And I feel like a lot of this, the eclipse has shaken things up. So now, like, we're being invited, right? We have free will, but we're being invited to move forward and to go deeper into the muck, the stuff that we don't want to look at. If there's family relationships that need some attention, maybe from this perspective that you're at now that you've built up towards, that now we're kind of being tapped or even pushed a little bit, like you're ready, or ready or not, this is happening. There could be like major fallouts or disagreements or just complete endings of relationships. So, as hard as it is, I feel like we've been on this merry-go-round of it that now it's like, stop playing around and it's time to move through it to get to the other side. So, the transition of the normal that we are now, right, which is not great, but at least we know it, to get to the other side of that where we can be fully living in alignment with our purpose, living our best life the way that we are meant to be, being at peace, right, having true love and even joy, right? I always go back to that peace, love, and joy. That's really what we're looking for, and it is different. It looks different for each individual because we're all created uniquely and differently, and that's a celebration. So once we move through our own healing process, right, and that's pretty much where We are. Whether we acknowledge it or not, it's still happening. And, we can utilize it or discard it and ignore it. We have the choice. You can also have the choice of acting as if you've dealt with it when you really haven't. That's spiritual bypassing. I've been guilty of it. I'm like, I just want to be there. I'm even um, embarrassed or ashamed that I'm not where I'm acting as if, I should be. And because the work is hard and it can be long, it can be years. So we want to get to that place, and then we get like glimpses of it or tastes of it. But to be fully committed and to fully embrace it and be like, oh, I do, but right now there's this great show on, or I'm really into this book, or um, there's this big festival happening, and everybody's going to be there, and it's going to be so fun, the best music, like whatever it is that keeps pulling us away from our path, right? And I think most of us are guilty of it because we're human and we want to feel good now. We don't want to wait. We don't want to go through the challenges. And the challenges are there for our expansion and for our growth, because the state that we are in initially, right, is not prepared for all of the greatness, right? The celebration of light, like to that authentic piece, not the it feels good now. It's like that lasting embracing of life. So that's kind of what Scorpio is. It's that journey, right? We'll all go through our own hero's journey, and it looks a little different for each of us, but there is, a basic, path that is followed. It starts as the fool or the dreamer and doesn't really acknowledge or understand all the challenges that are going to be coming up for the soul's growth and expansion. So, then we move through it. We go through despair. We go through wanting to give up because it's not easy. But that's what the Scorpio is there. Like, this is pretty much what we signed down for, whether we acknowledge it or not, or aware of it or not, just being born on this earth, or like we kind of signed up for this thing. So the planets help, kind of map it out a bit. That's how I see it. That's how I use it. I'm not a religious person. I don't really worship anything. I pray to one God and follow guidance as I, find it. Sometimes I request guidance because I feel lost and dark, and then embracing whatever comes through. So that's why I do these, just to let you know I'm on the same path. I might be, a few steps ahead because I've been doing this for many years, but do I have all the answers? Am I complete? No. Anyone who pretends that they are, I would be wary of. But I've been doing this a long time, and I'm really familiar with the breadth of it because of what I've been through. Is so many things, right? It like kind of the field of it is very large. It's very wide. So I have gratitude for it because then I have the opportunity to be in service for more people, right? Who are going through different things such as grief and trauma. I use transitions because that is what I've experienced has moved me to my next level of where I needed to be, right? But it also does go back and forth. There's always wounds that needs to be healed. It's so intrinsic, right? If you go really into it, almost like it seems like we're set up to fail. So the truth of it is we're not. We're set up to succeed, but it looks deceptive. It looks very different and it feels very, very different. So when we have the courage, right? And that comes from the heart. When we have the courage to go through that dark night of the soul, which is what Scorpio really represents, and keep moving through it, we will get through it, even when it looks like it's never going to happen. And I understand that completely. I completely understand that. And I still experience it at times. And I have to remind myself, yes, that's an old belief that you have. It's still there. I can say the biggest one with me is money. Like, I have these old beliefs of money. Like, I've failed so many times. And but I also disregard the wins too, which is interesting because it's almost like I want the um, the challenge to be real, or the setting up for failure to be real. Because that's so intrinsic a belief that's so deep within me, which isn't even really mine. It's generational. What my ancestors have experienced. I carry that with me. It was horrific, as many of our ancestors have been through. Um, just horrific. I've been going back into Irish history and Irish American history, 'cause that's my lineage. It was awful. I'll just leave it at that. But it's all been really hard for all humanity, and so many different groups of people, that the ones that haven't been traumatized is such a small percent, which we know about. So anyway, this is also a fixed sign. Both the Taurus and Scorpio are fixed. So that means that we have to keep moving straight ahead, like not getting off the path, right? It's like when we want to give up, it's like keep moving. And the energy of it is like keep moving, keep moving. Like, we don't have any other option here. If you want your expansion and you want your growth, you have to go through the mucky waters of it. It could trigger a lot of things, and if you can move through the trigger, acknowledge it. I've been, teaching the peace process of connecting to how it feels, connect to the present moment, connect to your breath. We have all of these tools that are very simple, and it's not like big expensive. It's mostly connecting to your intuitive nature, just being quiet, be in nature, just take a walk. I do self-care now. I'm prioritizing it more than ever, because this is a little embarrassing, but I'll share it. Like, I've been noticing my face changing from age, and everything's changing, but I see it on my face, and I can't pretend it is any different than it is. So I'm putting more care into it, right? I'm hydrating more. I'm drinking more water. Drinking water, it's the best thing. So, yeah, drinking water, get fresh air, take care of yourself, get enough sleep, take care of how you're feeding yourself. So now I'm going into the Taurus. So see, the Taurus is in opposition of Scorpio, but it also supports Scorpio. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is all about the beauty and the aesthetics of being on the earth, the pleasure. So, when we're challenged, don't deny yourself the pleasure at the same time. Going outside and feeling good. Do some ecstatic dancing. Do whatever is calling to you. I did that today. It was really fun, and I feel very clear and clean. And I'm like, okay, give me what you got, right? So that is what I have to share with you today. If you want to connect with me, book a discovery session. I am very happy, overjoyed actually, when every time I connect with people, that are acknowledging that they're on the path and maybe a little bit lost, or need a little bit of guidance, companionship, support. as they move through sometimes what could be very treacherous, right? On the path. Like we go through the woods of it. That's kind of like where we're at. And it's like, oh my gosh, how do you get past this? And it's like, we can't just get past it. We need to move through it. But if we keep moving through, there is the other side. And it could be scary because we don't really know what that is. I can't tell you what it is. It's unfamiliar, it's new. But I have deep trust that it is for our highest good, and there will be the greatest joy once we're there. And it's like giving birth, right? We go through the pains of giving birth to our babies, but also to our ideas, to our businesses. And it's hard. And it's like, oh my gosh, why did I decide to do this? And then you get to the other side and there's just joy, right? So this is what I wish, for you on your journey, that you are not alone, right? And if it's not me that you feel compelled to connect with someone that you trust, and that you uh, know understands you. All right. Blessings to you always. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.